Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll call the September 3rd meeting to order. Council, you've all seen the agenda. Anyone have any changes or alterations of any sort you'd like to make? That was a question?
No.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve then?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. With regard to the consent agenda, does anyone have any issues that you wish to bring up with regard to the minutes?
No.
Anyone have questions about the warrants?
I did have one question.
Okay, in that case, I'll break, if there weren't questions, I was gonna do it all in once, but let's start with the minutes. With regard to approval of the minutes, I'll move that the minutes be approved as submitted. Is there a second?
A second.
A motion and a second, unless there's discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, ayes have it. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
The only thing was, on the second page of the claims, there was the Forest Street project, the $38,900. That was to improve or to put in updated sewer systems by those new apartments,
Yes.
correct? And that's completed, and that's what that was for.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was my only question.
Anyone else have anything? If not, can I get a motion to approve the warrants?
I move we approve the warrants.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. And then with regard to the approval of the payroll, in the amount of $38,621.75. I'll make a motion that we approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. Is there anyone wishes to make comment on anything that's on tonight's agenda for action? Seeing nothing, we'll move on. Mr. Bina isn't here, so have you heard from him at all?
No, I thought he was going to be here.
We'll skip 6, and hopefully he'll show up when we can come back to him. Mr. Neufeld is listed as being on for the Kansas Water Office grant application.
But
Can
he
you
called.
speak to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is, last year, Kansas Water Office opened some grants for technical assistance and improvement to plants throughout Kansas. You submitted a $50,000 application last year to study the plant for efficiencies in future operations. Darren wants to resubmit it again, and it's a long shot. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of apps, but at least put it in and see what happens.
That's for 15,000?
50.
Every time Mark tells me about this, he tells me what a long shot it is. And
Those are. I think they funded 20 last year, this off memory, 20 out of several hundred.
Gotta have high hope.
Yep.
What's the match on that, do you know?
Zero.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's so popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody wants it.
So at this point, you're asking if we would grant authority to file the application?
Correct.
Okay. Discussion?
We don't have to supply any funds.
There's
for
not
it.
a lot of downside of it.
Right.
None, I can see.
Well, I'll make a motion that we make grant authority to make the application. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion beyond that? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Ayes have it, 5-0. We're up to you, Mark, with regard to 2025 budget.
Well, we have our revenue neutral hearing on the 16th, and we may ask you to have a meeting next week on Monday. Mainly, I just want to give the broad outline tonight. We'll meet with our budget people later this week. The main thing is, we have 3 taxing funds, and general fund, which is your normal operation of the government, the debt service, we pay for your bond and interest payments, and the library fund, we levy on behalf of the library. You have your revenue funds, the highway fund, the park fund, equipment reserve, land bank. You have utilities funds in Marion, as you all know, water, wastewater, electric, and sanitary sewer. And some of the things to look at, I think, as we try to narrow it down a little bit. Your valuation of the mill went up, in my estimation, approximately $1,160 per mill, from $11,892 to $13,052. Last year, you levied 74.83 mills for the '24 budget. The revenue neutral rate due to the increase is 68.134 mills, which is, I think, approximately 86,000 more. If you levied the exact same amount, it'd be approximately 86,000 more than you levied last year on the property tax. I don't anticipate seeing that, but that would be the max. You made your final payment to the rec commission, $136,000 total, so that's done. So that frees up some money. My understanding is back in the day, whenever you signed that they wanted to use that for public works type projects. You do have a lot of needs. You have equipment needs, infrastructure needs. And I also think you ought to have matching funds for things. There's a lot of grant opportunities out there that come down the pipe for like splash pads and things. Also think you need to have some money for things that happen. For example, your next agenda, we had the cemetery wall fall down out there. We finally had some quotes on it. So things just happen during the course of the business. And again, hopefully we can delve into it next. We just have a very rough draft. It's just been not quite where we want to be, but hopefully, if you want to meet next Monday night, we can have adjourn the meeting, have a meeting, and then have the hearing on the 16th. So that's just a really quick overview.
Question, the cemetery wall, just some of the things we're going to have to address. The first quote, if I'm recalling correctly, was like $50,000.
Yeah.
And then the second one was 36?
It was low. I don't remember. I don't have it in
But it
front of
was,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
And-
lot lower.
Do we have one that we're still waiting to get, do you know?
I don't think we'll get another one.
Okay.
I was gonna ask on that, did that just fall down? I mean, nobody hit it or anything, it just,
Yeah.
There's some moisture got underneath the top cat and
Are they just replacing that section, or are they gonna be doing that entire?
I need to
area.
see the quote again, but I think just that section
Okay.
from the quarter down to the road, I believe. And they may have some other thing on the other side too.
Okay. Well, when you get that, and then we can discuss what action we want to take. Just speaking to the council, obviously, this is a little off topic, but not really. We're talking about spending money. We don't have to redo it as it was. I personally think it would be a shame not to, but that is a good chunk of change. And if the west end of it just fell down on its own, what is to say that the rest of it won't do it at some point in the near future? So Mark, if we came in, I know one of the things that, because I was in your office one day when the staff member who ran the street sweeper came in and had been doing some investigations on the cost of new street sweepers and whatever, because as I understand it, the one that we have is being held together with string and baling wire and gum and duct tape and about everything else. And he had test driven, I guess, if you test drive a street sweeper, but one, and was pretty impressed with it as at a lower cost point than, it wasn't a big one, I guess I'll say. And that was like $250,000.
I'd say 250, yeah.
Yeah,
You'd have to do a legal purchase of some sort.
Yeah. So you told me that number, and I think you told me if it was a lease purchase, it'd probably be over around 7 years, and,
Yeah, about 45,000.
yeah, right. And so what we'd be talking about there is like, you know, a little over 3 mils to do that. So one of the things we could do is come in at the revenue neutral level, and, you know, the benefit there is that the actual amount of money that we collect would be lower, and our mill levy obviously would be lower too. Another option, I'm just throwing this out for discussion, I think there may be other things that the council would prefer to invest in, but this is an example that I think is good for consideration, is if you wanted to buy a new street sweeper, or do a lease purchase and buy a new street sweeper, basically, you would need to come in at the revenue neutral plus 4 mils, let's say, for the sake of argument. Not asking anybody to do anything, I'm just throwing that out as things to think about on what we might do here. Anyone have any thoughts or questions of Mark? So you're proposing, you told me this before the meeting started, obviously, but you're proposing that we have a special meeting next Monday.
Budget, maybe adjourn this meeting till next Monday night.
Adjourn the, okay.
If people are available.
That'd be the 9th.
You're not, okay. We can have
Would you be available at a different time?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, who said they're not?
Janet.
Oh, you did, okay, I thought it was Amy. I'm
No, I
sorry.
said the 9th.
Yeah, the 9th.
Yeah.
You're trying next Tuesday night?
Mondays work best for me, because
Monday too?
yeah,
Okay.
or
We could, maybe Sandy can fill in.
not Tuesdays or Thursdays right now.
Oh, for God's sakes, here we go. Sorry, guys. Paper. Yeah, I could probably do Tuesday. If this thing goes I've got a mediation that day, but if it runs that long, I've got big trouble anyway, so.
What about Monday?
Actually, both are the same, so I can make either one work. Tuesday would actually probably work better for me.
Tuesday was bad for me.
Bad for you, okay.
That's what I was seeing. I don't, I mean, I
Well,
don't know anybody else has it, it doesn't
I
matter.
am in a position where it's a criminal day, so I can just tell them we're gonna have to knock a couple of those cases off the end. That's pretty easily done, so Monday'd be fine.
And then at 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that all right for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I said, we're gonna meet with our budget people later this week, and we need to lock down some things.
I remain concerned about our ability to hire people to fill the positions that we have. The climate in Marion is not good for attracting young people to come fill positions. And I think that's what we need is someone, trying to work their way up the ladder in the city administration profession. And I think the only way we're going to be able to do it is to pay top dollar. And I'm talking about for city administrator, I'm talking about for chief of police, maybe for economic development director, I can't say for sure on that one. But I just want us to keep that in mind when we're talking about budget and funds available. Because the climate, the negativity, the mean-spiritedness of things in this community right now are not really good selling points for us. With that, we will address the rolling over of the meeting in a minute. First is the public forum. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to the council about anything they may wish?
Are we gonna address the Brian Venus without him or anything else?
Well, I'm trying to wait till as long as I can. Yeah, I don't think,
Okay.
until he gets here, I don't think,
I think he'd wait till next meeting.
yeah.
He didn't make it.
Okay, so you just want to continue item number 6 to next meeting? Not the special meeting, but the next regular meeting, okay. Anyone have any objection to that, be the 16th? Okay. All right then, counselor, department, and staff reports. Go back to the corner to Margot.
I'll have more to tell you in 2 weeks.
About
Park.
Art and Park, okay.
There is a bus of 90 people coming to the park Saturday. So
For a particular purpose, or just,
they're on a counterpoint tour, and they're stopping. They've done this before. They're stopping in our park for lunch and shopping. Yeah, beauty and bathrooms.
okay.
So can we make sure that the bathrooms are stocked with toilet paper and
Unlocked?
hopefully cleaned a little bit?
Yeah.
Put our best foot forward.
Have you found them otherwise?
No.
I don't use them, so it was just a thought that I had.
I do.
It did have a bit of a negative overtone. though.
Sorry. Yeah. I do have indoor plumbing in my house. I don't have to go down to the park.
How about you, Mr. Zach?
Nothing from the police department.
Electrical, how's things going,
Did-
Sparky?
Back to the police department, do we have did someone complete their training here recently?
Yeah, the end of June.
Okay. I just had noticed something flash across on my screens and,
Good.
so.
Stephen?
Everything's going good for us.
Landon, I know you're just here out of the, because you apparently have no social life whatsoever, but is there anything from your side of things that
We started tearing out the 300 block in North Roosevelt today.
saw that?
Sorry, yeah.
Replaced it. Other than that, just normal days.
How long is that? It's a 1-block run, or is it 2? Okay.
It's one.
So that'll be a month?
I would hope sooner than a month, but weather permitting.
We'll get an inch of rain. As soon as they get it ripped out, we'll get an inch of rain. That's just the way it works.
I was gonna ask, on some of the streets, I've noticed like the concrete streets, it seems like some of the older ones that had been done in the past, the saw joints, I guess, have been filled with tar or some sort of a sealant. And then I've noticed on some of the latest ones we've done that hasn't been done. Is that something we need to look at for longevity of those streets, or?
Could be, I think a lot of the newer saw cuts aren't cut all the way through. So there's
Gotcha.
no way for water to actually seep in.
Gotcha,
I think
okay.
the tar filled ones were the old cut.
Oh, gotcha, okay, I was just noticing that, so.
Anything else for anyone? Mark, I guess,
The only thing, the Thrasher people will work on the museum at this time, September 11 and 12. And Darren's offered to go over and kind of oversee the project, which is right across from him. Darren, also, at your next meeting on 16th, you'll have the airport crack seal project bids. And that'd be a good project, a lot of cracks out at the runway.
wasn't he gonna do bids on the Locust Street
He
thing? too?
thinks that might be the first meeting in October.
Oh, okay,
He's gonna verify that
okay.
to award the bids.
Then let's go to, well, I'm sorry, Janet, anything from you?
No.
We'll go to council members, we'll start with you, Tim.
I don't have anything to report on tonight.
Kevin?
Nope, nothing.
Amy? Zach?
Nope.
I was really pleased to see, the high school flags that are up around town. Got a knock on the door and get a lot of knocks on, normally it's the box of kids or something, they're always selling something, they're little entrepreneurs.
Snowballed that one day, I believe it was.
But it was a high school young man, and the the big flags that say Marion Warriors, and there's multiples on Roosevelt Street anyway, but I've seen them around town and other places. I think it's really kind of cool, the high school spirit. Last thing for me is that after this meeting is over, we're going to keep things rolling in terms of the recording apparatus for 5 minutes. And if anyone from the press wishes to ask any questions, they're welcome to take a seat at the table and use the microphone and ask any questions that they may wish to. But at the end of the 5 minutes, it'll be up to myself or any council members that choose to stay, whether they want to stay any longer or not. And council members, it's your call. I'm willing to, make that, I'm willing to do it. I'd love to have you stay, but you don't have to. Your call. So, is there a motion to continue this meeting to, now I can't even remember what day we chose, next Monday?
It's Monday.
The 9th at 5 p.m. Well, I'll make that motion.
Just be, with the only agenda item to be a budget discussion.
All we're continuing is budget discussion portion, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you second? Did somebody?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay, Amy second. Any discussion about that?
Will somebody from the Lloyd Group be here? That,
We're sure on the 16th, and we hope on the 9th.
Okay,
We're
gotcha.
sure on the 16th.
okay.
Good question. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Ayes have it, 5-0. We will continue this meeting on the 9th of September.
Do we need to adjourn this one, or is that what that, is that what we're calling it?
We are semi-adjourned.
Semi-adjourned. Sooner.
Say anything you want now.
I'm just gonna hook onto your flag, information, and I'm pleased with those flags as well. And I was absolutely overjoyed with the band at the Labor Day celebration in Florence yesterday. It was big, it sounded good and full and balanced. They marched well, they played the national anthem well, just pleased as punch about the high school junior high band, so there you go.
That is not a small thing.
That's correct.
I've been in touch with both Peabody and Hillsborough band directors seeking their band's attendance at the Old Settlers Day Parade. And, but one of them is brand new, and I really thought that school had a brand new one last year as well, but I can't swear by it. And the other said that their band is very small, and they're just not sure they're up for the, they didn't say they wouldn't come, but high school, it's not like it used to be. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. My daughter's in that band.
He determined we didn't need to.
I'm sorry?
He continued it.
We didn't do
Make a
what?
motion to adjourn and
Oh, okay, well, it was a semi-adjournment, but we will, all in favor of semi-adjourning? Aye.
Officially,
When I was in high school, and it was a school about this size,
I think I did because
we had 101 people at the marching band.
yeah.
Well, yes, they were still that way when I first moved here. Football players were in the band, cheerleaders, I mean, everybody was in the band.
Half the student body used to be. When I was going here, more than half of all the students were in the band.
Do you have any idea of what, how many would that be then?
Oh, it was over 80.
Okay.
It was over 80.
So the school didn't have quite the, I just remember when I was in high school, I don't know why I remember this, but there were 312 kids in the 4 grades, and there was 101 in band, so that's a third, but,
Band is sort of like football teams and anything else. You
daughter is in band, but I don't know how many this,
Yeah.
it looked like 40,
Well,
60.
yeah, you gotta start in 5th grade, get them going, and
Yep.
then work from there.
The other thing I
It's a
think,
matter of creating enthusiasm and pride.
Right.
Well, and finding time and facility scheduling too.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, and that's part of the problem now. I mean, that's a big part of the problem.
I think with a lot of the other classes, you know, band is one thing that they'll drop first if they have to pick up something else, you know, scheduling wise.
That was one of the
Package.
secrets that,
Put that in there
when
so
I
you
was
won't get
there,
work during your
Attorney Steinell was the band director, and we had band set up his first
I'll take
period.
it home and my kids will probably break it open.
There was almost nothing else
If
offered.
I find out your kid's in the
I think
hospital
one,
from
I
eating
think
that.
at least a couple of years
Hey,
when I was in
Zach,
school, I
you
think
got
it
a
was
minute?
right at the start of the day. Who did you say the instructor was?
Steinell.
Poor Mike had a short.
What-
I'm like, hey, do you mind
Is that
your
He
wife,
came
Zach's
when I
kid?
was
He's like,
probably in fourth or fifth grade.
he's
He
so
was
laid
there
back.
well
He
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
care.
there was 3 more.
And then I'm like, well,
Mike
there's a big
Stanell.
one come too.
Mike
He's a
Stanell.
Well,
baby.
okay, well, I wondered, because I've done a lot of the old Settlers Day golf tournament and taken the registrations. When you said Stanell, it's like, that name sounds familiar, but it wasn't.
How are your children?
Well, and,
Different.
Were you at
and Mike's
school
brother
the other day?
Dan
Are you
was
doing
in the
student
marching
teaching or
band at
something?
KU.
No,
and
well, they
told me
called, they
when I
didn't
was
have
going up
any
there, why don't you try out for the
kids.
marching
Oh,
band,
gosh.
which I did, which I,
They had like 4 or 5 parents.
was a great experience. My grandson now is in the marching band
I'm like,
at Purdue.
I can only come in for this amount of time because I was gone, but
It is something you can kind of do after high school too, and,
I'm excited.
although
I've spent a lot of
playing
time
the
at
sousaphone,
Boys State.
Really?
you
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
you don't sit around on Christmas Eve and let's whip out that sousaphone and play some old Christmas favorites.
Without jingle bells or something.
Through the years, but yeah, I do too.
It's a good school, it's, yeah, but yeah, I think, you know, and honestly, I always tell the schools, any of them, I'm like, just call me. And even if I come in for a few hours, I'm willing to help, you know, cause you can really get a good connection and.
Well, and it'll enhance your education.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he must not want to be doing anything.
I know, dang it.
His has his pants fastened up tonight.
Who was that gal that you drove?
Well, she's also a teacher aide.
Yes,
And I'm helping
I
her.
was in with her, she's the nicest lady.
Well, I'll tell you what the story is there. She and my late daughter were really good friends at Embroy State. They both worked at Plum Hall, administrative offices
Funny,
at Embroy State.
yes.
And so,